All right, so let's pick this one up here on the calculator side. If we take this, so what we're doing is we're graphing now, we're graphing this equation to solve for it. Okay, this is maybe a new concept for some of you. But we're finding where this equation has a value of 0. When will this equal 0? Right? When you look at the graph of this, check, 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 enter, there we go. What should the shape be? That's not so obvious in this viewing window, but what is the shape of this graph? What's it called? It's called a parabola, right? So it's a parabola. You could see that if you zoomed out. Okay, from here. Now, when you notice this graph and you see it's headed down, it's headed back up, we'd have to zoom out a whole lot more. We'd have to get out to where the y value is negative 72 to see the y-intercept. But this is really what we're focusing on. What do you notice about these values here? Okay, we can go menu. Watch this. Analyze graph. Option number 1 in analyze graph is 0. Okay. For what we're doing, it might as well say solve. Your calculator can solve this for you. If you click 0 and then you scroll over, okay, notice it says lower bound down here. Lower bound means you need to be on the left side of whatever you're trying to find. So if we're trying to find the 0, we need to be on the left side of that. If you click, I guess I'll hit enter, and then you slide to the right, there we go. Here's our 0 of negative 8. You can see that on your screen in front of you. So you have to be on the left side, slide over to the right, and you see negative 8 comma 0. What is that? Graphically speaking, what is this point? What would we call that? If it had a proper name, we would call it the x-intercept of the graph. Okay? It's where this line meets our graph. And this line right here is the y-axis, excuse me, the x-axis, and any horizontal line has the equation y equals, so this is where y equals 0. So the intersection of y equals 0 and my graph gives me the solution to that equation when it's set equal to 0. So you notice the negative 8 here, there would be another 0 over here on the right. That x-intercept would be at 9. So the long story short here is if you want to solve an equation, any equation, when you set it equal to 0, find its x-intercept. Done. Okay? It's a fairly simple process. Any equation. Now, some equations that don't have solutions, you're not going to see that x-intercept. Okay? But in this case, we do. Now, again, I'd love to go more in depth on this, but we have at least this much. So, not only are these the zeros, these are the x-intercepts of the graph. So they are the solutions to the equation, they are the zeros of the function, and they are the x-intercepts of the graph. Right? It's 3 different terms, 3 different interpretations of the same thing.